All right, so I'm continuing my preview for the Alabama football team for the 2016 season. Today I'm going to talk about the offensive line. And before I talk about 2016's offensive line, I would like to talk about 2015's offensive line. So even though it won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in football, me and I and a few other Alabama fans, we kind of dispute that because what we saw from last year's offensive line, like sure they did run blocking pretty well, enough for Derrick Henry to get 2,200 yards, but they seemed so sporadic and spotty at times. With pass protection would just break down, especially on the right side with Dominique Jackson, and it didn't really live up to a billing as the best offensive line in football. And so I just want to put that out there. It was enough for us to win the national championship, which is ironic, but we'll get on to that. So this year, we're returning three players with starting experience from that offensive line last year. Those three players are Cam Robinson, Alphonse Taylor, and Ross Pierschbacher. Last year, Cam Robinson was the left tackle, Alphonse Taylor was the right guard, and Ross Pierschbacher was the left guard. We lost our starting center for the past 3 years or so, Ryan Kelly. It was to the first round of the NFL draft, and we lost Dominique Jackson, who was a right tackle starter for, I think, the first time, 1 year starting experience, maybe two. And really, he was a liability last year in pass coverage, and it was pretty sad. He was pretty strong and was a good athlete, but he didn't really protect well. And I think this year things will be a little bit different. So first of all, Cam Robinson will be healthy this year. I think that also attributed to some of the problems last year. You can really tell that he was affected by some of the injuries he was going through, and it really affected the way he played. Also, we have Ross Pierschbacher moving to center this year to take over for Ryan Kelly. He's gotten good reviews there from the coaches, so I expect him to stay at center and really solidify that spot for us. I don't know if he'll be as good as Kelly. We'll find out. Alphonse, though, is the X factor here. He may start if he gets his weight down. He had gained a lot of weight, apparently, so he's been undisciplined. And also, he got in trouble with the DUI, but we found out that his blood alcohol level was actually zero point 0, and so he was stopped for basically he got in trouble for no reason. And so he's back on the team, but that still doesn't mean he'll start because he has the discipline issues with his weight and whatnot. So we'll see what will happen. Ironically, though, he had the most pancake blocks on Alabama's team last year, so if he does start, it'll be pretty good for us. So potentially we could be replacing three starters, but most likely we'll replace two. And those two will be at the left guard position and at the right tackle position. So I expect the right tackle position to be the most improved. For depth, for people who will be competing for the jobs, we got Dallas Warmack, Lester Cotton, Bradley Bozeman, Richie Pettibon, J.C. Hassanar, Brandon Kennedy, the freshman Jonah Williams. We lost the incoming JUCO transfer Charles Baldwin for discipline issues. They sent them out. He's at Kansas or somewhere else right now. But those guys will be competing for the position. I think that Jonah Williams will get the right tackle spot, the freshman. There's really great reviews from him. He's big, lengthy, strong, athletic. So we'll see if he can hold it down, which I think he will. We've had tackle start at the freshman position with Cam Robinson and Andre Smith, and I believe he'll fit right on in. At left guard, I think Lester Cotton, who's been getting really good reviews by the coaching staff this year for the way he's been playing and trying to get this position, I think he'll take over the left guard spot. And so that would leave that the left tackle will be Cam, left guard will be Lester Cotton, center will be Ross Pierschbacher, right guard will be Alphonse Taylor, and right tackle would be Jonah Williams. And I believe that offensive line will be much better than the offensive line that Alabama fielded last year, which kind of bodes well for, it's a bad omen for Alabama's opponents this year, who were manhandled by Derrick Henry and sometimes the offensive line last year. The fact that we'll be getting better will be really interesting. We'll see how that works. They'll protect the quarterback, hopefully, with a new starter so he doesn't get shook, and they'll provide good run blocking for the running backs. So that is just a quick take on Alabama's offensive line for the 2016 season. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Look out for more videos, and I will be back soon. Thank you.